The Crunch are back in action here tonight as they take on the Toronto Marlies for the third time this season. First of back-to-back games here at Coca-Cola Coliseum between the Crunch and the Marlies. It's the first time the Crunch are here in Toronto all season long. Crunch are red hot here of late. They've got points in 11 of their last 12 games, currently holding the fourth and final playoff position in the North Division. That in strength because of last weekend's sweep. Back-to-back wins on home ice for the Crunch Friday and Saturday. Most recently, a win against the Rochester Americans last Saturday night. Not their strongest performance of the year, but still a very good win. And at this point of the year, all points are important, and you find them any way you can as the Crunch head into this weekend against the Marlies.
Marlies are always a very good offensive team. They've got a number of skilled players, and it's going to be about limiting their opportunities. They're going to create their own chances, so we need to make sure we do a good job of making them create on their own. And from that, we need to make sure that while we're stifling them as best we can, we need to make sure that we're keeping pucks moving forward. I know I've used that term a lot lately, but that's something that really builds success for our team, is when we're keeping pucks moving forward, getting on the other team, we're able to build a bit of momentum and frustrate other teams. I think we've got a very good system in place, and we need to make sure we continue to rely on that.
Obviously, a coaching change mid-season's never easy. They lost many guys because Toronto has been depleted. But they're still there. They're still in that race, and they have games in hand. And so I expect them to be at their best, to play their best hockey. And every team right now believe that they'll be that fourth team that's going to make the playoffs. So it's we expect a very hard challenge this weekend from them.
So tonight it's the Crunch and the Toronto Marlies for the third time this season. First of back-to-back games here at Coca-Cola Coliseum between the clubs. Crunch have won the first two in this head-to-head season series, both games in Syracuse. One back in overtime in October, the most recent one on January 3rd, an 8-2 win for the Crunch back at Upstate Medical University Arena. Marlies, after a great start to the year, have been the worst team in the North Division really since the end of November and into December. Since then, they have the worst record of the division. They have been struggling mightily of late, and they most recently played on Wednesday, a blowout loss 8-4 in Belleville against the Belleville Senators. Despite all that, the Marlies are only 4 points behind the Crunch for the final playoff spot in the North Division, so obviously this is a crucial two-game set starting tonight in Toronto. If you can't join us from Coca-Cola Coliseum, you can catch all the action on ESPN Radio and AHL TV. Countdown to Crunch time begins at 6:45. Puck drop at 7 as the Crunch and the Marlies play for the first time here in this building this year.